Welcome back, and in this video I want to talk about the DNS signing ceremony. If you're imagining confetti and champagne right now, it's the opposite of that kind of ceremony. This ceremony is all about controlling the keys to the internet, more specifically the trust anchor of the DNS system. It's one of the most important meetings which occur in the technical space. Pretty much everything that you use on the internet is enabled by the technical act which occurs within this ceremony. Now, before I cover what the ceremony is, we need to understand why anything like this is needed. Trust within a DNS zone is normally provided via the parent zone of that zone. The parent zone has a DS record, which is a hash of the public key signing key of the child zone, and that's how the trust chain is created. In the case of the root zone, there is no parent zone, and this means there's nothing to provide that trust. And so a more rigorous process is required, something which is secure enough that the output can be absolutely trusted by every DNSSEC resolver and client, and we refer to this concept as a trust anchor. Locked away within two secure locations, one in California and another in Virginia, is what amounts to the keys of the internet, the private DNS root key signing key known as a KSK. Now, it's impossible to overstate how important this set of keys is to the internet. They rarely change, and the trust in them is hard-coded into all DNSSEC clients. With them, you can define what's valid on the DNSSEC root zone, and because of this, every child top-level domain, every child zone inside those, and every DNS record. These are locked away, protected, and never exposed, and they use redundant hardware security modules, also redundant across physical locations. Now, I'll detail this more in a second, but access to the private keys is controlled via the fact that HSMs are used. You can only use the HSMs in tightly controlled ways. The keys never leave those HSMs never leave those locations, and you can only use them within those locations if you have the right group of people. And people can only get into those locations after going through a rigorous multi-stage ID process. Now, why this is important is because we all know the public part of this key. It's part of the DNS key record set within the root zone, along with the public zone signing key. To restate this, every DNSSEC client and resolver on the planet explicitly trusts this key signing key. And if we have this public root zone key signing key, we can verify anything signed by the private key, the one that's locked away within the hardware security modules. Because the security of the private root key signing key is so tight, it's not practical to use constantly. And so there's another key pair which controls the security of the DNS root zone. This is known as the root zone ZSK, or zone signing key. The whole function of this massively controlled ceremony is to take the root zone ZSK, take this into the ceremony, sign it with the private root zone KSK under these hugely tightly controlled conditions, and then produce as an output the root zone RRSIG DNS key. This single record is why DNS from this level down through the top level domains and into the domain zones, this is why it's all trusted, because the root zone is trusted via this signing process. Now, talking through the detail of this signing ceremony would take too long, and so I've included a link attached to this video which gives a detailed overview of the ceremonial process. These ceremonies are public and recorded, and links detailing all of this process is included attached to this video. What I want to do now is to talk in a little bit more detail about why this process is so secure. The signing ceremony itself takes place, as I mentioned previously, in one of two secure locations. Now, there are a few key sets of people involved. I'll not show them all on screen, but we have the ceremony administrator, an internal witness, the credential safe controller, the hardware safe controller, and then crypto officer 1, crypto officer 2, and crypto officer 3. Now, there are a total of 14 of these crypto officers. 7 of them are affiliated with each of the locations, and at least 3 are required to attend for the process to work. Logistically, dates and times are picked when 4 to 5 are available to ensure some level of resilience. The most important part of the whole process hardware-wise is the Hardware Security Module, or HSM, which is the hardware which contains the root zone private key signing key. This device is protected and can only be interacted with via the ceremony laptop, which is connected to the HSM over Ethernet, and this is only operated by the ceremony administrator. The laptop has no battery and no storage. It's designed to be stateless and only used to perform the ceremony and not store any data afterwards. Now, the HSM device can only be used when crypto officers use their allocated cards. What's being signed are the public key signing key and zone signing keys. Well, actually a pack of them to allow for rotation between this ceremony date and the next. The HSM device via the ceremony laptop then outputs the signatures for these keys, which become the DNS key RR-SIG records for the DNS root zone. Now again, this process happens every 3 months. It's generally broadcast, notes of the process are available, and it's publicly audited. Now this is a summary of the process. The level of security procedure which goes into ensuring that groups of human participants can't collude and corrupt the process is extreme. I've included additional links attached to this video which provide more detail if you're interested. For this video, I just want you to have an understanding of why this ceremony is so important. So during this ceremony, we take the root key signing keys which everything trusts, but which are too important to be used day to day, and we use those to sign root zone signing keys which can be used on a more operational basis, and these can be used to sign individual resource record sets within the root zone. And it's that public and private zone signing key pair which is then used to create the chain of trust which allows trust in top level domains, and then those top level domains can pass that trust on to domains, and then in domains that trust can be passed to individual resource record sets. And this all has to happen because we have nothing above the root key signing keys in DNS. They're a trust anchor. Nothing makes us trust them other than the trust itself, and this ceremony ensures that it's almost impossible to corrupt that trust. At this point, that is everything I wanted to cover in this video, so go ahead and complete the video, and when you're ready, I look forward to you joining me in the next.